Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
I'm Kaitlyn.
Welcome to Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week, we're going to talk about the fact that Disney has branding issues, just like Microsoft, ironically. They've named the second private stop in the Bahamas Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Now, we originally knew it was going to be at Lighthouse Point, but now they've felt the need to add another bit of branding, and now we have two names. I don't get it. Why not just Lighthouse Point?
Because Lighthouse Point encompasses more than just what Disney owns. But you had an interesting idea.
I get it. That's the point. But I guess who cares if it's the name of a geographic region? Like just, hey, you're visiting Lighthouse Point. Why does it have to have a name? But whatever. That said, Alicia, you bring up a good point. That I brought up a good point. What if Disney's going to do more than one thing at the property that they have a 99-year lease or whatever it is on at Lighthouse Point? If you'll remember, they were originally batting around the idea of putting a DVC resort on Castaway Cay. And for various different reasons, that has never, mostly bugs. That's never happened. But what if this is a precursor to Disney having a resort or something that is permanently on the island in addition to the spot where the cruise ships stop? We'll have to see what happens. What do you think, Alicia?
Only time will tell.
Kaitlyn, what do you think?
I'm just confused how that would work because, would you just stay on Castaway Cay or that island for a week and then get on another cruise?
It's not just there's residents there. It's a fairly large island.
It's one of the bigger islands in the Bahamas. This is just like the tip of it.
Yeah.
Like Aulani. I mean,
you'd have to pay so much more.
Well, I mean, I think it would be a
DVC is like that anyway.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, no, you could fly out there. There's an airport on the island.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yep.
Prognostications abound.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're really talking today about all the stuff that you two did in LA that wasn't Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into this. Y'all flew into Burbank Airport. This is the first time any of us have actually gone into Burbank instead of LAX or Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It's a little airport.
Yeah.
And we got off the plane via a ramp down to the tarmac. Mm-hmm. And
it's not it doesn't have a gate.
Yeah.
Like a typical
no
gate that goes right into the building. Mm-hmm. You get down on the ground.
Yep. It's a very small airport. And we just got to lift our hotel after that. It was easy to navigate. There's one baggage claim area. So very easy.
Cool.
We got a lift to our hotel. We stayed at the Hilton Universal City Hollywood. I think it's called Universal City Hollywood. I know it's Universal City Hilton.
Okay.
And got our room. We got there around 3-4 o'clock.
I think it was after 4 because check-in started at 4.
Yeah, check-in
started.
We just
got right in there.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we got in later in the afternoon, early evening, and went up to our room. We had a park view room in a floor 22.
Ooh.
And it was an executive room, which just means it had a desk. And the view was amazing. The view was really cool.
Cool. So you shared a little video online. You could actually see the Waterworld show going from your room.
We could hear it from our room too. We could hear just some of the booms and the fireworks, all sorts of stuff. We knew what happened at the end of the show, so we just sat there and watched it for a while because we wanted to see the ending part of it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Just all the fireballs and everything. Yeah.
Airplane flying from the back of the thing.
Yep. That was neat.
That was actually cool because you can see the ramp that thing launches from.
Yeah. That was neat. And just seeing the rest of the park, it's interesting because it's not flat at all. It's quite hilly. And there's an upper and a lower lot at Universal and humongous escalators. And we could see the castle, Hogwarts Castle. We could see the new Super Nintendo Land and just everything. It was really neat.
Cool. All right, so you guys went and had dinner at City Walk, right?
We did. We walked around City Walk for a bit. It's a lot smaller than the one in Orlando. A lot smaller.
And for those of you who aren't Universalites, this is effectively the Downtown Disney or Disney Springs version that Universal has at their theme parks.
Shops and food and stuffs. And we had dinner at Margaritaville in remembrance of Mr. Jimmy Buffett. And I had to have a drink, so I got the it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It was very good. Did you enjoy dinner, Kaitlyn?
I did. It was really good. We both had burrito bowls, and it was a specific like Halloween Horror Nights menu that we got it off of. And
Cool.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we walked around a bit, got some ice cream at Ben and Jerry's. Very good. Went back to the hotel. There's a shuttle that goes from the hotel to City Walk, which is quite nice.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. And got back to the room and watched The Pope's Exorcist. Oh, actually, before that, sorry.
Yeah.
We could see everybody lining up for something. Oh, no. This is the next day. Sorry. Scratch all that. We watched The Pope's Exorcist.
Well, that sounds like a good travel day and getting ready to go. So next morning, what'd y'all do? You had some time to kill before Halloween Horror Nights.
We had breakfast at the hotel and then went to Griffith Observatory. They didn't open until noon. So we just we slept in, had some breakfast, chilled for a bit, and then took a lift over to Griffith Observatory. It was farther away than I thought it would be. It said it was like 3 miles. It seemed like it was farther than that, though.
Well, that's probably 3 miles by the crow flying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ravines and things like that that you've got to, the roads have to navigate around and stuff. So, plus, I mean, to get anywhere in LA is like 20 minutes no matter what.
That's about how long it took,
You'd be across the street and it's 20 minutes.
Yeah. We got there, had a nice little surprise because we could see the Hollywood sign. Yeah.
I didn't know it would be over there. And then we look outside and it's right there. I'm like, whoa, that's cool.
It was cool. So we got some pictures of the Hollywood sign. The observatory is it's really cool. It's neat to see everything and it's just out there up by itself. We walked around a bunch. We got tickets to go see a planetarium show that didn't start until 1:45. So we walked around a bit and saw some of the exhibits. You can go up to the roof. We walked around the roof, saw the different domes. Kaitlyn, do you remember what the different domes were?
One of them was a telescope. I don't remember which one. And then I think the biggest one was the planetarium. And I don't remember what the other one was.
The other one tracked the sun.
Oh.
It's a special lens where you can look directly at the sun through the lens.
Oh, very cool.
And we looked at that a little bit later. The telescope was really neat. I got some nice pictures of that. They also have it's basically a little camera that goes around and looks at all the terrain around it.
Yeah. And
down below in the exhibits, you can see everything. Like you can see the projection of the image. It's really neat. And it's just, actually, I don't know if it's a camera or if it's just mirrors and lenses.
Yeah, it just looks like a little, I don't know, like having the submarine where you like go out and
periscope.
Yeah, the periscope. That's what it looked like.
So if folks don't know that Griffith Observatory is the very kind of famous architectural wise museum / observatory that's up on a cliff over in Hollywood. You can see like the whole city and everything from there. It's been used in lots of different movies and shows as a background and things like that. So that's awesome. What was the planetarium show like?
The show is called Signs of Life. It was really nice. Okay. It's been a minute since I've been in a planetarium, like elementary school, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got in there and the seats, they naturally recline back so you can see the screen. And Kaitlyn and I both got in there. We're like, oh, we're going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
They were comfy chairs too. It was a live narrated show, which was really nice. And a lady came out to do the show, and she had an orb in her hand, probably about 6 or 7 inches in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
And it lit up, so it was like she was holding a mini moon or a sun or something like that. She started narrating about the show, which is Signs of Life in the Universe, talking about what is needed for life and if there are life on other planets. We don't know.
Yeah, it was more of microorganisms and stuff rather than aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see what other planets are similar to Earth, and water was a huge factor of it and stuff. And I don't know, I never really thought of life on other planets as microorganisms. You always think of aliens and whatnot. So it was cool to see that different perspective.
Yeah. I mean, the most likely scenario is that they're, just like life started on Earth, it's little single-celled organisms and amoebas and things like that that are out there. Yeah. That's at least close to home. It's probably more likely to be something like that than there is, the little green men on Mars or something like that.
Humanoids, yeah. And at the very end, the contraption came up from the ground, and we got to see all the stars and everything.
That's cool.
That's just so neat, seeing all that. And she had a laser pointer and circled a couple stars and talked about them.
Nice.
Yeah.
You also mentioned to me before we started recording something about the Gottlieb Transit Corridor. What's that?
This is a contraption that basically tracks the sun, and it's a calendar type thing as well.
Oh.
So it's a corridor out near the back of the observatory, and I think it's brass or copper or something sculpture. It's like a quarter arc, and it has all of the months on it and then little notches for days. And way up above it, there is a concrete arm that has a hole in it, and that's where the sun shines through.
Okay.
And they do a ceremony there called local noon, and that is where the sun is directly overhead. It's not at noon.
Right.
Because
time zones.
And LA is not geographically in a place where the sun is directly above you at noon. It is at, I think it was at 12:52 or 12:47, something like that. So we went down there. There was somebody that gave a really nice presentation and talked about what exactly this was and how it worked. And as she was talking, we could see the reflection of the sun coming through, slowly getting closer to the sculpture, and September and the 7th. And it was just really neat to watch it. And she said at night, because there's a line of copper that goes all the way down the corridor and up the stairs over there. At night, the North Star lines up. right over there.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
That was cool.
That's nifty.
Yeah. And I know when the sun was directly on the meridian line and whatnot, it lit up I don't really know what it was. It had all the constellations and astrology, whatever. And so it lit up what constellation it was in. And I can't remember. I think it was Leo.
It was Leo, yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see.
Well, obviously you can't see the constellation because the sun's out.
Yeah. But it lit up the lights on that little
yeah,
plaque
cool.
thing.
and she said it was just at the end of Leo and about to go into Virgo,
Yeah.
which is the zodiac signs.
Whoa. Wait.
Yeah, lines up to that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Any other exhibits that you want to highlight that were interesting there?
Some of the other things we saw, they had a deep space exhibit, which was really neat. They had a statue of Einstein sitting down there, pointing at the stars. Kaitlyn caused a little mini earthquake, and so did I.
Yeah.
They had a seismograph there.
Yeah.
One of the other things that was really neat is they had a representation of the periodic table.
Okay.
So this big, huge periodic table in front of you it's like a whole bunch of shadow boxes, and they had the elements in there.
Oh.
Yeah. And of course you can't see the gases, but they had a button you could push and it would light up the gases that were in tubes inside the little boxes.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah, you can see different things. You pressed a button and it would say what was in a supernova and stuff like that.
That's neat.
What was in human life, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully the radioactive stuff was a little bit more protected. Or
It was all boxed behind glasses and
Yeah.
stuff.
And there were quite a few in there that like there was nothing in it.
there. Yeah.
So
uranium
Yeah.
probably isn't prominently displayed.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Neat.
We also got to see a Tesla coil, which was nice. And they had
This is a bunch of Tesla cars parked in a circle?
yeah, exactly. They had it in a cage for obvious reasons.
Right.
They didn't used to have it in a cage.
Oh.
Yes. And it was protected behind glass and everything, but they didn't used to have a cage in there. And the guy who was giving the demonstration said they realized they needed to do this when cell phones came into use. And when they started doing or finding out that during planetarium shows, the equipment wouldn't work when they were doing the Tesla demonstration. So now they have it in a Faraday cage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know how long ago that was. Obviously a while ago, but
Right.
yeah.
Huh. That's interesting that cell phones would throw off enough of a field that it would mess up the Tesla coil.
I don't know if it messed up the Tesla coil or the Tesla coils messed up the cell phones.
I think it was the Tesla coil messing up the cell phones.
Got it. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
There's also an area underneath the dome where the sun lens is where you could look at the sun.
Oh, wow.
So they had a couple things. There's a camera where you could see the sun.
Yeah.
And that was kind of neat. It's a little grainy, but you could see like the sunspots and everything on it.
Yeah.
And then over on the other side, it's like you were looking into a microscope type thing. You looked in there and it was deep red, but it was a very crisp view of the sun. You could see the plasma shooting off of it.
Oh, wow.
It was really amazing.
Yeah, it was so cool.
That's cool. And you had a nice day when you were down there too.
Yes. Aren't all the days nice down there?
Well, I mean, most of the days are nice as long as they don't have like a hurricane or tropical storm coming through once in the, a
85
century.
years,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But oftentimes, at least in my experience of being in LA, it often gets smoggy or smoky.
It was smoggy.
Okay.
There was definitely a haze over downtown.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible, but there's definitely a haze over downtown. And I mean, the sky was clear. It's very pretty.
Nice. Yeah, I remember being down there. It was probably almost 20 years ago for work. And the guy at the building, we were pretty high up on one of the buildings, and he's like, "Oh yeah, if you look over this way, in this direction, which is basically out to the east, he's like, there's like 3 or 4 different rows of mountains, and I'm like, I can barely see the first one. I was like, all right, I'll take your word for it." Yep, LA stories right there. Right there. All right. So after Griffith, where'd you go?
We went to the El Capitan Theater to go see a Goofy movie,
Yep.
which is really cool. I don't think I'd ever seen the full Goofy movie. I've seen most of it, but it was cool to see an older Disney movie in a theater.
Why was a Goofy movie playing?
This theater is now owned by Disney. Didn't used to be owned by Disney. It used to be owned by Paramount.
Okay.
And a couple other, it exchanged hands multiple times. Disney owns it now, and they will play Disney movies there. They have events there quite a bit. They have, I think now they have an Encanto thing going on. And the really interesting thing is they will bring characters to the theater based on whatever movie they're showing. So we got to see Goofy Goof and Max Goof beforehand, and they did a dance, and that was fun. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And then after the movie, we went out, and conveniently, there's a Ghirardelli attached to the theater. And there's lots of Disney stuff in that shop too.
Yeah.
We got like a Disney pin about the El Capitan Theater. I got a chocolate and
It's literally sitting in front of you right now. Well, what's left of it?
what's left of it. I only had half of it, so it's okay. And one thing I didn't know is all the Hollywood stars from the Walk of Fame were right out there. Like I didn't know where the El Capitan Theater was. I was just like, we'll just go to the theater. But there's a whole bunch of stars out there.
Yeah.
Got a picture of Minnie Mouse, and who else did we see? There's just a lot of people there.
Yeah,
I saw
I know.
Carrie Fisher's star.
Yeah, I saw Mark Hamill, Paul Rudd. There were a lot. I can't really
Yeah.
remember them.
Yeah.
There's somebody with the last name of Sterling, so I took a picture of that one. And then Kaitlyn noticed a little bit farther down the road was the Chinese theater. So we walked down there and got a couple pictures of that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So a good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon. We went back to the hotel to rest for a little bit until Halloween Horror Nights. And we could see everybody lining up out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just a big, huge crowd. So the park wasn't closed yet, or maybe it was. People were starting to leave. There's just a large crowd out there. We didn't need to go till later, so we hung around for a bit.
Nice.
And we were out until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of a late start the next day.
The next day.
We got up, we packed, and we went to the park. We wanted to check out Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah.
So you didn't get started. You didn't get into the park until almost 11.
Yep.
So,
That was fine.
it's okay. It's all right. What did you do first? What happened?
Starbucks.
Yeah. I think we walked into like the Universal store.
Yeah.
And then we kept walking through and we stumbled upon the Starbucks that was connected to the store. So it was like fate.
Totally unintentional. Yeah, we had breakfast there and we noticed that the Scooby Gang was right outside taking pictures. And we were wrapping up breakfast anyway. I was like, let's go get our picture with the gang. So we did. And the whole gang was there. Fred, Scooby, Shaggy, Velma, and oh my gosh, I almost said Wilma. And Daphne.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
I remember seeing these pictures, and hopefully we'll remember to actually share some of these. The gang looked amazingly like the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they were spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, we had a little conversation about monsters and let them know that the area had been infiltrated last
Yeah.
night.
Got it.
Velma was upset that they didn't set enough traps
Yes.
for the monsters.
Then we started walking down a little bit farther, and I looked to my left, and Dracula is just kind of lounging in the shadows. Like,
Well, yeah, he can't go in the sunlight.
no, I know that, but like he's kind of out of the way. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, Dracula's over there. And I mean, it was very empty in the parks at that time. There's like not a lot of people there at all.
This was a Friday. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And so we went over there and started talking to Dracula. He was very charming.
Yes.
He was very charming. We had a conversation about sunscreen.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, vampires,
Yeah.
redheads, very similar in the complexion department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said we both had beautiful necks, and it was very nice of us to pull our hair back.
Oh,
Because it was hot, so we had our hair up.
right, right. Well, it's also, I mean, he'd get a hairball otherwise. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We talked to him. He's quite nice. We got some good pictures with him. I wasn't sure if he would show up on our camera.
Oh,
And I asked him about that.
yeah.
And he told us his secret, which I can't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he told us that it would work on the cell phones.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a lot of makeup. The makeup shows up.
I can't tell you.
Oh, damn it.
You'll have to go have a conversation with him yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. We kept walking and we saw Scary Minion Bob.
Yep.
So
He was
damn
adorable.
cute. Oh my gosh. So
He was
cute.
dressed as like Frankenstein or
Yep.
something. And-
Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
Frankenstein is the
yeah,
doctor.
sorry.
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
No, but he was all green
Yeah.
and had little knobs sticking out of his head. It was really cute.
Yep. And I told him, I was like, I can't decide if you're adorable or scary. And he really liked that. And it's like he made some sort of squealing noises and his eyes started moving. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
All right. Did you hit any rides?
We did. We got right over there. We got on the Secret Life of Pets ride.
We got adopted.
We got adopted.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you were a pet.
We were a
Yes.
pet. Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
dogs.
Yep. We were both dogs.
And how does that, what's that ride about?
It's the Secret Life of Pets.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I'm kind of picking up that you are a pet that gets adopted, but
We get rescued and then we get cleaned up and then we get adopted.
Okay, so is this like a screen ride? Like
No, it's a
It was kind of a mix between the two. Like the first part of it, it had kind of like what dark rides have, just like the animatronics and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then later through it, it did have screens.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you could like see yourself as a dog through
Yeah.
that. Kind of like Haunted Mansion, what they have at the end.
Yeah.
Where you can see the hitchhiking ghosts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
the
Nice.
ride vehicles were cute. It looked like you were in a corrugated cardboard box. It
Nice.
was cute. After the Secret Life of Pets, we went on
The Despicable Me ride, I don't remember what it's called.
a Minion Mayhem, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that one?
It was cool. I wasn't really sure what it was going to be like because I hadn't really seen what was over there.
Yeah.
But you walk into Gru's house and you line up in the line and whatnot. And he does this little spiel about how he's turning humans into minions and whatnot. And he tried to shoot us with his fart gun, but it turned out it was like bananas.
Banana gun.
So it smelled like bananas for a little bit.
Yep.
And then you get into this big room with this ginormous screen, and there's, I don't know, they're like,
It's kind of like theater seating, but ride vehicles
Yeah.
of 4
Okay.
in a big theater seating setup.
yeah.
Okay.
And then like when you got on, they would like lift up and move around and whatnot, kind of like
Simulator. Yeah.
a simulator.
So this is kind of like the Simpsons ride ish.
Kind of.
Kind of, but it's a whole area full of seats that you could see everybody.
Okay.
It's like an auditorium type thing.
Yeah, I think the Simpsons ride is the same thing, but they just have like dividing walls,
Yeah.
so you can't really see the other riders. But it's
Similar. Yeah.
same thing. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yep. And let's see. After that, we did the Studio Lot tour. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So is this the classic tram?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a classic tram. And one of the interesting things about this tour is it incorporates 2 rides that are in Orlando that are separate rides.
Huh.
So you're going in, you go into backlot area, you see where they do a lot of movies of like I don't know, facades and everything like that. Different areas there. And then you go into a dark tunnel. And it's the Kong Skull Island ride that's
Oh, wow.
at Universal Orlando.
Huh.
And you do more touring. And then you go into another corridor and it's the Fast and the Furious supercharged ride.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was really nice just going around and seeing all the different areas.
Yeah.
Some of the highlights were going through the War of the Worlds set in the daytime.
Yeah.
And Jupiter's Claim in the daytime. We got to go visit the Good Place.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That's cool. Neat. What was your highlight of the tram tour, Caitlin?
I think going through Jupiter's Claim in the daylight where you can see more of it. And while like we were on a tram, so we couldn't really get out and walk around, I was able to look around a little bit more at
Yeah.
stuff from the night before that I didn't really get to see.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
What is Jupiter's Claim?
It's from the movie Nope.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Got it,
like
got it,
an
got it.
amusement park in an amusement park kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Super meta. And just seeing all the different town setups and facade setups that they have.
Yeah.
So like New York, a European city, a residential area, just all sorts of stuff. And they talked about, what has been filmed in each one of the locations.
Did you get to see the Back to the Future town square?
No, I remember when we were, maybe, I don't know, maybe that was one of the areas.
They have like the clock tower, and
Oh, no,
we
I didn't see that.
they may have been filming over there. I mean, this is an active
Yes.
movie lot,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that tram tour, sometimes you get some things, sometimes you get other things,
Yeah.
and it just depends on what you get.
Yeah, I did see the night before when we were at Halloween Horror Nights. I think we were in the trolley, and we were driving by and saw the Lion Estates
Oh,
not sculpture, just the
it's the monument.
entrance.
Yeah,
it's the entrance to the
to the neighborhood.
To the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw those. I was like, oh look, Lion Estates. I know what that's from.
That's cool.
Oh, we saw a bunch of cars too.
Yeah, that was cool. I
Yeah.
remember we saw the Weasley's car from Harry Potter
Yep.
with
Yeah.
the flying car.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yep. No DeLorean though.
Wah,
I
wah.
know. That would have been cool.
Oh, but we got to see the mystery machine.
We did. That was neat.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the bunch of the cars from Fast and the Furious too. Yeah.
Got it. Nice.
Yeah.
I know there was also where they like demonstrate the flash flood.
Yeah.
That was really cool to
was
see.
neat. Oh, we saw Jaws. too.
Yeah, and the Jaws area.
Oh.
I couldn't really see the shark
No,
because we were on the wrong side.
Oh.
But no, it was cool.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they have removed in Orlando is the Jaws ride and that whole experience
Yep.
because now it's Diagon Alley.
Yep.
Wah.
But the tour is nice. If we go there, I'd do that again.
Yeah.
Nice. So after the Studio Lot tour, what was next?
Butterbeer.
Butterbeer.
Yeah, that was one of my goals for this trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a butter
Yep.
beer.
We got butterbeer.
Yeah.
Was it as good as you remembered?
Yes, it was.
Excellent.
I
Kind
know.
of jealous.
We just got the cold one, but when we got it at the Hog's Head, and there was an option of the frozen, and I was like, should I try it? But I was like, nah, I know what I want. So,
And I saw them making it. It's interesting. They have 2 parts to this. So they just pour the butterbeer and then they go over to a different area and pour the topping on it.
Oh. Give it the head.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's very yummy.
Yeah.
After butterbeer, we went and saw the Waterworld show.
So this is kind of the big famous like stunt show that
Yes.
everybody thinks of.
This was really good. It was hilarious.
yeah.
And at the beginning, before they started, everything was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the show was really fun too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, there were sections in the stadium where, like, if your seat was green, then that was the splash zone. Like, you would get wet. Like, it wasn't a matter of like if, like,
Yeah.
just when you would get wet.
And the way you got wet is they had hoses and just sprayed the people down.
It was really
Threw
funny.
buckets of water on people. And
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
I'm glad that we were sitting not in a green section because that would not have been very fun. But it was funny to watch people
yes.
get wet.
And they did warn people ahead of time. Like,
Right.
if you're sitting in these seats and you don't want to get wet, move.
Yeah.
That's
was-
pretty hilarious. It's like,
very funny.
you know, because people are like, oh, it's probably from the show. And like here, they just like open a hose on people.
Mm, pretty much.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. Pretty good. And of course, Kaitlyn, I mean, you're a big fan of the movie Waterworld that this is all based on. You've watched it constantly, it seems like. So did it really hold up to the movie? He says sarcastically, knowing you probably didn't even know it was a movie.
Yep.
I mean, it's try and find dry land type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's characters from the movie and everything.
Yeah.
All the stunt people were active stunt people in movies and in shows and everything. And at the
cool.
very end, they said the names and what they were in. So
Oh.
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
After Waterworld, we did something that we didn't get to do when we were in Orlando before. Was
Wow.
the Mummy Ride.
Yeah, that was cool. I know I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was just going to be like a dark ride kind of thing because I had seen like some snippets of the
Yeah.
ride. And so like we got on there and it's like lap bars and like snug and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a roller coaster. It was a pleasant surprise,
Cool.
but it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a fun roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. And I fit in it. I asked if there was an area that was a little more accommodating.
Yeah.
And they directed me to the 4th row last seat. It was fine.
Got
No
it.
issues.
Cool.
Yeah.
So pro tip there, just ask.
Yep.
It's awesome that they at least have
Yeah.
an area. Universal Orlando. Hello. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
After that, we were kind of flagging. We were ready to be done.
Well, you had a long day the previous day.
Yeah. We had lunch, dinner,
Dinner.
and we just went to the I don't know what it is. It's the food area, the quick service area over in Jurassic
Oh, okay.
Park area. We both got burgers. They were not good. The potatoes were very good.
Oh yeah, yeah, those were very
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
The burgers were not good. They had a weird taste.
That's too bad.
Yep. And went back to the hotel, wanted to change because it's colder in Seattle.
A little.
Yeah. And got notification that our plane was delayed for an hour and a half.
Yay.
No. So,
If you knew that before you had left the park, would you have done anything else in the park?
I don't think so. We were done.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you would have sat somewhere in the shade and just like people watched for a
Okay.
little bit, but I don't think
Yeah.
we would have done.
Is there stuff in the parks that you didn't get to that you wanted to?
I know there was the Jurassic Park, the
ride.
the water ride
Yeah.
that I was thinking, but I'm like, I really didn't want to get wet.
Yeah.
If I wasn't wearing jeans and like we were about to get on a plane and whatnot, then I would have done it.
Yeah.
But in
Okay.
that situation, I didn't want to
Yeah,
go on it.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
This one's supposed to be a little better than the one in Orlando, just extra animatronics, like
Cool.
humongous animatronics.
Nice.
So next time, it's not a very big park.
Is that the Jurassic Park ride? Is that kind of the only other thing that's there?
Other than Super Nintendo Land, yes.
Oh, that's right.
We didn't get to
We
go
didn't go
over
in there at all.
Okay. Did you try and it was full, or you just
No,
didn't get to
we
it?
just didn't get to it. Sterling wants to do that,
Okay.
so kind of left it for him to be one of the first
Nice.
to go see that. Yeah.
Good. That'll be awesome for him.
Yep. But it looked really cool from what we
Yeah.
could see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So then you got to wait at the airport for a long time.
Yep.
It's okay. It gave me time to listen to new albums that were released that day.
Yep. Yeah, we had dinner at Guy Fieri's kitchen. I had a Guy Thai and an absolutely delicious burrito.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts the past few days when you were gone, and one of the things that I saw that people were joking about that airport, and it's like Guy Fieri's home airport, and like every other restaurant is a Guy Fieri joint, just so he'd have some comfort food before he got on a plane.
Oh my gosh.
No. I don't even know how big that airport was because after we got through TSA, that was like the only food place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not a very big airport, and I know some of the flight simulator YouTube channels that I watch. One of the guys often flies in or out of that airport, and it has all sorts of special procedures because like the runway is really short, and like there's just not a lot of room there. So yeah, I'm not surprised, but it's super convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our landings this trip were not butter. They're quite jarring.
A little more firm. Well, you can't butter in Burbank because you need to get that thing down on the ground so you can hit the brakes. So,
Well, Seattle wasn't butter either.
well, that's just poor pilot
Poor
ship.
form.
Poor form. Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys made it home and that your
Yeah.
flight wasn't like canceled at the last minute or some crazy thing.
Yep. We made it home at 2 a.m. again.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, I appreciate your sacrifice for content. You know, that's the podcast comes first.
Yeah.
Family's way down the list. Podcast first.
I don't think Dom Toretto would like that very much.
No.
Oh,
Shame.
I got called out. You know, that's fair. I apologize, Dom. Yeah. All right. Well, thank y'all
Yeah.
for joining us and sharing.
Maybe we can share next year too.
All right. I'll prepare the checking account.
We are not affiliated with Universal and we are not travel agents. We offer our opinions and suggestions. We do recommend working with a travel agent to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Universal experience
Or Disney.
or Disney, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
Please give us a follow on social media. We're at Our Mousecapades on the Twitters or X or whatever the heck that thing's called, at least for now. We're also over on Threads, which is the new hotness. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, all sorts of stuff. And also give us a rating and review in your podcast app. That really helps game the algorithm and point people in our direction.
Thank you for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.